Round number 3 of the 2022 NASCAR Xfinity Series season is live from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway for tonight's running of the Alsco Uniforms 300. Thank you everybody for joining us here in the 4Y Broadcasting Network as we are set to go racing here for the third time in 2022. Starting on the pole tonight, it is a hometown hero. The hometown kid Noah Gragson captures his first ever pole here in the NASCAR Xfinity Series driving for Junior Motorsports, and he'll be the guy leading us to green flag here at Las Vegas tonight. He has the 20 Knoxville native Trevor Bayne on the outside driving the 20 for Joe Gibbs Racing. We have 2 races so far in the books here for 2022, and let's take a look here at the playoff grid. Brett Moffitt and Daniel Hemric, the first and only 2 names in green right now after capturing the wins at Daytona and Fontana the last 2 weeks. Now remember, the 16 drivers will qualify for the playoffs here in 2022, and we definitely got some new names, some interesting teams that currently make up the top 16 as of right now. We have David Starr, Jeffrey Earnhardt, Tommy Joe Martins, Kyle Weatherman, Stephen Parsons, some great stories inside the top 16, but the question is, how long will they stay there? Just last night, the Truck Series tackled this mile-and-a-half speedway, and we had a first-time winner. Ty Majeski scored the first win of his Truck Series career last night after pulling some pit strategy late in the race that catapulted him to victory lane. Now tonight we got some cool temperatures. It's pretty cool outside. It's great weather, no rain in the forecast. It's almost a picture-perfect day or night for NASCAR Xfinity Series racing. This is the 30th time the Xfinity Series will roll into the town of Sin City. Been coming here since 1997 when Jeff Green won the inaugural race here, and in the prior 29 races we've seen 21 different winners, with Mark Martin the all-time winningest driver with 4 victories here at this track. We have 3 prior winners here in the field tonight. We have 2-time champion Tyler Reddick making his first appearance here in 2022. He won here in the fall of 2019. We also have AJ Allmendinger and Josh Berry, who took home the checker flags in the 2 races here 1 year ago. The question is though, will we see a new winner here in Sin City? We're about to find out, but first let's go to a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we'll have the starting grid and the green flag coming your way here on the 4Y Broadcasting Network. We are back live here at the track, and we are going to get set to go racing here for 75 laps here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. But first, let's go and show you your starting grid for tonight's race, the Alsco Uniforms 300. We already talked about on the pole. We got the number 9 of Noah Gragson, the first pole of his career. On the outside, one of the guys with probably the most experience at this track, the number 20 of Trevor Bayne. Back on row number 2, we got the 1 of Sam Mayer under a teammate to pole center Noah Gragson, and we have the Colleague Racing Chevrolet of Landon Castle for the outside. Row number 3, Daniel Hemric, last week's winner from Fontana, next to the guy who is fastest in practice, the 98 of Riley Herbst. Row 4, Justin Allgaier has never been to victory lane here at this track, trying to change that tonight. So is the 19 of Brandon Jones on the outside of row number 4. Row 5 has Austin Hill, a 2-time Truck Series winner here, next to the 16 of AJ Allmendinger, who won this race last year. Speaking of winning here last year, the 8 of Josh Berry won here in the fall of 2021, next to the 39 of Ryan C. Row 7 has a couple of Toyotas, the 18 of Ty Gibbs, and John Hunter Nemechek back in the series, driving the 26 this week for Sam Hunt Racing. Row number 8, the 68 of Brandon Brown, next to the 24 of Kyle Weatherman, making up row number 8. Row 9 has the 32 car driven by Eric Jones back in the series, driving the 2nd car for Jordan Anderson Racing. He'll have rookie contender Sheldon Creed on the outside of row number 9. Row 10 has the 27 of Jed Burton for Our Motorsports, and the 15 great running qualifying by Bailey Curry, putting that car inside the top 20. Row number 11 has a few more teammates from Our Motorsports, the 23 of Anthony Alfredo and the 02 of Brett Moffitt. Row 12, 2-time series champion Tyler Reddick back in the series, driving the 48 for Big Machine Racing, and David Starr in the 36. Row 13 has the 31 of Myatt Snyder with Alex LeBade top 10 in Fontana 1 week ago. Row 14, rookie contender Austin Wayne Self in the 37 car next to the 51 of Jeremy Clements from Spartanburg, South Carolina. Row 15, the 4 of Ryan Truex on the inside next to the 28 of Kyle Sieg, younger brother of Ryan Sieg, on the outside of row number 15. Row 16 has the 45 of Ryan Ellis for Alpha Prime Racing making his first start of the year next to Ryan Vargas, the outside of row 16. Row 17, the 90 of Jeffrey Earnhardt has had a great start of the year driving the 90 for DGM Racing with a 5 of Stephen Parsons' 12th place finish last week in Fontana. Row 18 has the 07 of Joe Graff Jr. and the 55 Cody Rohrbaugh making his Xfinity Series debut. Row number 19, the 78 of Josh Williams with the 77 of Dylan Bassett. And running up the field on row number 20, shotgun of the field, the 92 rookie Preston Pardus and the 38 of CJ McLaughlin. Alright, so before we get set to go green, a few stories we want to talk about before the green flag waves, beginning with our reigning series champion Daniel Hemric. It took him over 120 races to score his first ever win, but he was able to accomplish that last November. And now, it only took him 2 races to score win number 2, which took place last week in Fontana. He has a lot of momentum on his side. Does that carry on tonight here in Las Vegas? Leaf filter cutter protection on board the primary sponsor tonight. Is that going to be a good luck charm for driver number 11? Another driver we want to keep an eye on is the 32 car of Eric Jones, running double duty here this weekend. We'll be running the Cup race tomorrow night as well. But Jones in this car basically try to help performance. He has a lot of experience on the Cup side, coming over to see if he can help this team out, owned by Jordan Anderson. He's going to run a couple of races, about 5 races in this 32 car during the course of the year. First race come tonight. He finished 3rd here back in 2016, his best ever finish here at Las Vegas. Does he get Jordan Anderson Racing their first ever win in the series? And as Eric Jones is trying to help a small team find success, the 48 of Tyler Reddick, that is the same thing on this Big Machine Racing Chevrolet. Tyler Reddick, a 2-time series champion, coming on board for about 5 races this year. He's going to run in this 48 car, trying to help see if he can build something around this team. They shown a lot of promise, a lot of potential, but they got Tyler Reddick behind the wheel. Going to see how good the equipment really is. He's going to start pretty deep in the field, 23rd place, but if anybody can get it done, it is the 2-time series champion, Tyler Reddick. Okay, the lights are out atop of the pace car, so we are going to see the green flag wave this time by right here from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. On the front row, the number 9 of Noah Gragson. On the outside, the 20 of Trevor Bayne. Gragson's first career pole in the series. It comes earlier this afternoon, but he qualified during the daytime. How good is that car going to be under the lights? Different track conditions. Track is a lot different than it was earlier this afternoon. 75 laps of racing. Stage 1 is 25 laps. Stage 2 will be 30 laps. And then that final stage will be only a 20-lap run with at least 1 pit stop sprinkled in throughout the race. When will the guys make that 1 pit stop? Tires have been pretty important so far this week in tire wear. Definitely going to be a factor. Who can say their stuff the best? Pace cars in pit lane. The fans are on their feet. It's Noah Gragson bringing the field to the Geico restart zone, and we are green from Las Vegas. Pretty good jump there on the outside by the 20 of Trevor Bayne. A nice launch by both drivers on the front row, but it's Gragson peeking his nose out ahead as they exit turn number 2. Double wide throughout most of the top 15. Sam Mayer and Landon Castle side by side for 3rd place. Bayne way up the racetrack. Here comes Castle. He's going to make contact. The 20's in the wall. Trevor Bayne hard on the outside wall, and he is off the pace. Can he make it around the pit lane? Is going to be contact. Around goes to 45. We got a big one here in turn number 1. The caution will come out. Head on to the into the outside wall. That's the 45 of Ryan Ellis. The front end is completely gone on the 5 of Stephen Parsons. There's the 28 car of Kyle Sieg involved, and there's one more driver who I believe got a piece of it. And right there, the 38 of CJ McLaughlin, his front end is all crunched up. The yellow flag comes out, and it begins right at the front of the field. Trevor Bain went a little bit too high up the track, and Landon Castle ends up dooring him into the outside wall. And then right here, the 28 of Kyle Sieg. Looked like he didn't see the 20 car off pace on the front stretch. Runs right into the left rear corner panel of the 20. Sends the 28 sideways. And then creates a big crash down in turn number 1. Here's another look at the replay. It looks like Bain was a little bit high up the track. Castle tries to fill a gap in the middle lane. Gets tight. Slams into the 20 car. The 20 gets into the wall. I'm going to try to follow along with what happens here. Right there, Kyle Sieg gets into the 45 of Ryan Ellis after he makes contact with the 20 car. Looks like the 78 of Josh Williams possibly also got a piece of that as well. Let's take a look at this one more time. Bain had a great run through turn 1 and 2. Looks like maybe he got a little bit too high up the track. Castle tries to take advantage of it. And just runs the 20 car in the wall. Not sure how much damage that will affect the 10 of Lenny Castle, but Bain is completely off pace, trying to keep that car all the way up against the outside wall. See some contact from the 6 car of Ryan Vargas right there, the very last second. The 38 of McLaughlin hits into the 45 of Ryan Ellis. A bunch of tough breaks here. You have Ryan Ellis and Kyle Sieg and CJ McLaughlin making their first starts of the year. You have Stephen Parsons, who had a great run at Daytona, a great run last week in Fontana. Had high hopes of tonight. Looks like his race is over. The 20 car, Trevor Bain, crashed out at Fontana, and looks like his race is going to be over before it even starts here in Las Vegas. Pace car is out. I'll pick up leader Noah Gragson, and we will have the restart when we return to Las Vegas right here after the break. Alright, getting set for the restart here on lap number 4 of 75. Still a long way to go, but we are under our first caution of the night. The 20 of Trevor Bain, the 45 of Ryan Ellis, and the 5 of Stephen Parsons have all taken their cars to the garage area, and they are done for the night. Also, during this yellow caution period, the 26 car, John Hunter Nemechek's been on pit lane. Possible engine failure already developing on the 26. So we will keep an eye on the 26 of John Hunter and see if he can continue throughout the night. Noe Gragson and his JRM teammate Sam Mayer, they will be on the front row with the Collie Racing Chevrolet, or should I say the Collie Racing Trio, running out the top 5 with Hemric, Castle, and Allmendigger. And then you had Justin Allgaier, 6, Riley Herbst, Brandon Jones, Josh Berry, and rookie Austin Hill running out the top 10. So, that was a very dramatic opening 1 or 2 laps. And already got a big player with Trevor Bain out of the race. Noah Gragson and teammate Sam Mayer on the front row, and we are going to go back to green here on lap number 4 of 75. With about 71 laps to go. Good restart there by both teammates on the front row. They get in line, single file. Gragson and Mayer exits turn number 2, 1 and 2. Hemric trying to get around the 10 of Castle down here in turn number 3. Further back, there's Allmendigger down low, trying to get around the 10 of Castle. Riley Herbst up top of that 98 car. Josh Berry battling his teammate Justin Allgaier. We have 2 JRM cars battling for the lead. We have 2 more back here towards the back half of the top 10. Right now, the top 5 single file. Berry up the racetrack off turn number 2. and drives to the outside of the 16 of Allmendinger down here in turn number 3. Approaching the 28 car of Kyle Sieg. Trying to put him a lap down. Coming off pit road with some damage after that crash. And look at Sam Mayer's going to try to use the 28 as a pick. The 9 went to the outside, trying to get around the 28, lost his momentum, and now the 1 of Sam Mayer is going to go to the lead. With Landon Castle now following in behind, with Allmendinger and Hemric all trying to get by the 9 of Noah Gragson, who is still stuck in behind the 28 of Kyle Sieg. And you know this has got to be so frustrating for Noah Gragson. Look at all the spots he's losing. He went from leading this race to being towards the back half, the top 10. He falls in line right in front of the 19 of Brandon Jones. Daniel Hemric just took second away from his teammate Landon Castle. Now Josh Berry trying to make something happen on the inside. That is for third place. The 18, one of our biggest movers so far, has been that 18 car of Ty Gibbs. Started up all the way back in 13th place. Here he is trying to get fourth away from the 10 of Castle. As Gibbs tries to get around the 10 of Castle, Gragson trying to stop the bleeding and start trying to work his way back up. He's just got around the 16 of Allmendinger, now working on the 10 of Landon Castle. A little bit further back, how about a nice run here with the 15 of Bailey Curry, just outside the top 10. A great run we got right here out of the 15 of Bailey Curry, he's shown a lot of potential in many of his starts here in this Xfinity and Truck Series, you know, driving for small teams. But he's known as one of those guys who normally is very good on his equipment, someone who doesn't crash a lot, and someone who always gets a lot out of these cars. Right now, Bailey Curry currently sits in 11th place, just outside the top 10 in that number 15 car. Myatt Snyder, another big mover here. He's been pretty fast all weekend long. 24, Kyle Weatherman has now broken inside the top 15. There's the 44 of Alex LeBay. 48 of Tyler Reddick. A lot of guys on the move. One driver who has lost a lot of spots here on this restart, that 98 car Riley Herbst. Definitely struggling. I believe he got out of the groove, and he lost a ton of spots right now in 17th place, trying to get past the 37 of Austin Wayne Self for 16th on track. Jeb Burton. There's a 4 Ryan Truex trying to battle the 32 of Eric Jones for 19th on the track. And I believe we may have a battle for the lead shaping up. Yes, we do. Sam Mayer looks in his rearview mirror, and he sees that green number 11 of Daniel Hemric getting bigger and bigger in that rearview mirror. Mayer was able to grab the lead away from Noah Gragson, trying to use the lap car as a pick. How does 11 get by the 1? Does he have to wait for a possible lap down car to try to allow him to make the pass here on the 1 of Sam Mayer? Right now we are already about halfway here in stage number 1. Stage 1 will end on lap number 25. Right now we have 31 cars on the lead lap. Sheldon Creed's on pit lane. Trouble for the 2 car of Sheldon Creed. The 36 of also found trouble. David Starr, you see some damage on the front end and towards the rear end of that 36 car. That's a tough break for David Starr, who's had a very good start to the 2022 season for a driver out of Texas. And there he is on pit lane, the 38 of CJ McLaughlin, also on pit road. Sheldon Creed's back on track, but currently 3 laps down. He was involved in that mess with David Starr. Car looks pretty good, though. Problem is, he's about 3 laps down. Ryan Vargas just now leaving pit road, or he left pit road a few laps ago. He is currently 5 laps down. And now here, we got a battle for... We already had a pass for the lead. The 11 of Daniel Hemric has just now taken the lead away from the 1 of Sam Mayer. So it is Hemric, Mayer, Berry, Gibbs, and the 10 of Landon Castle. That is your top 5 with 11 to go here in stage number 1. So Hemric trying to pick up where he left off last week in Fontana. Didn't really look like he had the best car last week in Fontana, but some, faster cars got taken out in stage 2 last week, and then kind of opened up the door for Hemric to make his way up to the front. Was able to battle and beat the reigning Cup Series champion Kyle Larson. That was a big deal for Hemric. Right now, trying to drive away and score a stage victory. Sam Mayer, there's teammate Josh Berry. I'm telling you, the Junior Motorsports Chevrolets, they've been very quick all weekend long. And right now, we got 3 inside the top 6, with Sam Mayer leading the way in second place. Ninth place battle right here, the 39 of Ryan Sieg battling the 7 Justin Allgaier. That is 9th and 10th on the track. 31 of Myatt Snyder right there in 11th. Tyler Reddick has now driven his way up into 12th. Riley Herbst has now been able to recover to 13th. Kyle Weatherman 14th. 15th place battle right here. Austin Wayne Self going by the 15 of Bailey Curry, who is starting to lose some spots. He was running in 11th, now falls back to 16th. Now trying to hold off the 44 of Alex LeBay. Got a big stack of cars back here that just now going by the 28 of Kyle Sieg. Has 2 of the Our Chevrolets of Burton and 02 of Brett Moffitt. Preston Pardus, another big mover, has been that 92 car. Preston Pardus, he's known to be a very good road racer, but he's ran the last couple of seasons on a limited schedule, mainly doing the road courses. He made his oval debut last year at Martinsville in November. He was unable to compete at Daytona. He was not approved to run that race, but he's going to be in that 92 car for the remainder of the season and will run for Rookie of the Year. So, another high hopes for Preston Pardus. Right now, he's mired back and outside the top 20. Another driver who is not doing too hot right now in stage 1, the 21 of Austin Hill. He had a very up and down, mainly down week in Fontana 1 week ago. He won the pole, but had a flat tire on the opening lap, had to come to pit road. He lost 2 laps. Was able to get both laps back. Was able to drive his way to the top 10 until he had to make another unscheduled pit stop at the end of the right before the checker flag wave. So definitely a very up and down night for Austin Hill last week in Fontana. Right now, not doing too well here in stage number 1, but still a long way to go, as we are going to be coming to 5 to go next time by, or should I say this time by. And Hemric starting to drive away, putting a lot of distance between himself and the one of Sam Mayer, who now has his mirror full of his teammate Josh Berry in the 8 car. And those 2 cars, they had 2 different sponsors, but more they definitely look pretty similar colors. Right now, there looks like the Yetta Berry has a faster car at the moment, but trying to find a way around his teammate Sam Mayer. And right behind both of these 2 guys at 18 of Ty Gibbs. Qualified 13th and has already driven his way up into 4th place. Solid run early on by the 10 of Landon Castle, currently inside the top 5. Talking about Noah Gregson, Brandon Jones, AJ Allmendinger, Justin Allgaier, and Ryan Sieg. Here's Myatt Snyder going after the 98 of Riley Herbst. And we're going to be coming to 3 to go this time by. We got 31 cars on the lead lap. We did get word a few moments ago that the 26 of John Hunter Nemechek has taken his car to the garage area. A engine failure on the 26. That is a tough break for John Hunter, who didn't really perform all that well last night in the Truck Series race as we would have expected him to. And we all know he would have been a factor here tonight in that 26 car. And unfortunately, Nemechek's night is over, leaving us with 36 cars left on track. 31 on the lead lap right now. The 28 of Kyle Sieg is 2 laps down and 32nd. So he should be able to get the free pass here in just a few moments. 38 of CJ McLaughlin has returned to the track. He is currently 17 laps down. There's McLaughlin, his car on the bottom, off the pace. But he also, even though, well, he looked like he was off the pace, but now it looks like he's starting to make some passes. Remember, even though he has a damaged car, he does have much more fresher tires as we are on the final lap here in stage number 1. It's the first stage coming to a close here in Las Vegas. And that's the reigning series champion, the most recent winner in the series, Daniel Hemric. A lot of momentum on his side right now. Got that win last week at Fontana and comes off turn 4 to get another win, a stage win here at Las Vegas. It's Hemric winning stage number 1 here tonight in Las Vegas. He'll get 1 playoff point. That will go with his 5 playoff points he scored after winning last week. So your stage 1 winner is Daniel Hemric over JRM teammate Sam Mayer, who holds off to second, Josh Berry, Ty Gibbs, and Landon Castle. And as the caution comes out, the 28 of Kyle Sieg will be getting the free pass under this yellow flag. Try to get the camera on the 28. There he is, Kyle Sieg. Currently 2 laps down, but he will get the free pass here under this caution period. And that will put him 1 lap down for the moment. But the pace car now leaves pit lane and will pick up leader Daniel Hemric. These guys only have 1 set of tires on pit lane, so it's going to be a very lonely pit road as we come off turn number 4. Pit road will be open, but I would assume most of these guys are going to stay out and save that 1 set of tires for later on in the race. But is anybody going to try to pull some strategy? Maybe try to get some stage points here in this next stage. Looks like all of our leaders, though, at the front are going to stay out. So as they stay out, we're going to take a commercial break. But when we come back, we'll have stage number 2 underway here on the 4Y Broadcasting Network. You're back live here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, getting set to begin stage number 2. We got the 11 of Daniel Hemric, your stage 1 winner. We're going to take a look here at the stage 1 results. Daniel Hemric, your winner is Sam Mayer, Josh Berry, Ty Gibbs, and Landon Castle. Yeah, Noah Gregson, AJ Allmendinger, Brandon Jones, Justin Allgaier, and Ryan Sieg all getting stage points. And of course, like we said, Daniel Hemric getting that 1 playoff point that he will carry all the way through the 2022 campaign. So now, here in stage number 2, there's been a lot of talk about when these guys are going to pit. You want to have the most fresh tires towards the end of the race, but you also want to have track position. There's been a lot of guys who's been talking about trying to pit at the very last moment here in stage number 2. Maybe a few guys are going to try to stretch it all the way. Got to find out. Stage number 2 will be a 30-lap run all the way to lap number 55 here from Las Vegas. The pace car is back on pit road, and we are back underway here on the 4Y Broadcasting Network. And it is a pretty good start from the front row. Hemric and Mayer side by side as they enter turn number 1. And we have 1 car all completely off the pace. The 27 of Jeb Burton, who I believe was nearly on the apron down in turn number 1. Looks like he is okay, but that was a cluster down in turn number 1, but they stay clean and green for the moment. We have 1 car coming to pit road, though. I believe that was the 15 of Bailey Curry, and it is the 15 of Curry on pit lane. And oh yeah, he has some damage here on the right front. That is a tough break for Bailey Curry, who was having such a great run. He was running just outside the top 10. You see the damage towards the right front wheel. The fender caved in, and they are going to go to work on driver 15, as we are going to be single file throughout most of the top 5. Right now, Colleague Racing first, third, and fourth, putting on a clinic right now in the 5th place battle between Justin Allgaier and the 18 of Ty Gibbs. 39 of Ryan C. got a great restart. So did the 48 of Tyler Reddick, but one driver you see is dropping like a rock here on this opening run to stage number 2 is that 8-car Josh Berry. He restarted in 3rd place, and he's now dropped all the way back, nearly outside the top 10, right there getting passed by the 19 of Brandon Jones. So Josh Berry completely struggling right now. That was 11th place that he just lost from the 19 of Jones, should Jones make the pass here. There's a 98 of Riley Herbst now trying to also get around the 8. Jones has to get out the gas. Herbst, he's going to try to fill the gap in the middle. Nearly a little bit of contact right there as well on the front stretch between the 19 and the 98. And Herbst overdrives the corner. Now Austin Wayne self-drives to the inside. Behind them, the 24 Kyle Weatherman now battling the 23 of Anthony Alfredo. There's Eric Jones, the 32 car. I'm kind of surprised that we haven't really seen Eric Jones drive to the front just yet. Tyler Reddick has driven to 10th place, but Jones right now, he's kind of trapped back here outside the top 15 towards the back half of the top 20, but still a long way to go. There's a 51 of Jeremy Clements, one driver who is desperately needing a good run right now is that 51 of Jeremy Clements. Had a tough break last week in Fontana. He got taken out very early, as did the car in front of him, the 23 of Anthony Alfredo. They both got taken out very early in a crash involving the 39 of Ryan C. So right now, you can see Alfredo and Clements right now inside towards the top 20. It's been a quiet night so far for your Daytona winner, though, Brett Moffitt. Right now in 20th with Brandon Brown. 21st, there's Jeb Burton, Joe Graff Jr., Alex LeBay. He was running inside the top 15 in that first stage. He's now drifted outside the top 25 in that 44 car. There's Ryan Vargas to his inside. 77, Dylan Bassett. And Austin Hill is still struggling back here. Definitely not a good start of the race for RCR as a whole. We saw the 2 of Sheldon Creed had trouble early on with contact with David Starr. He's currently 3 laps down. And there is a 21 of Austin Hill. He is now dropped outside the top 25. So Hill definitely struggling right now. Probably hoping for another yellow here coming up very soon. That's right now. Austin Hill is currently in 27th place. AJ Allmendinger has been able to get around his teammate Landon Castle, currently in 3rd place. Ty Gibbs has now been able to drop also past the 10. In the 4th place, Castle back to 5th. Gregson, Allgaier, Reddick, Berry, and Myatt Snyder inside the top 10. But just like that first run, though, the 11 car driving away from the field definitely has a really good car right now. But also the question is, how hard is he trying to push it? I mean, that first run was 25 laps. This next run is going to be, 30 laps, but a lot of guys believe that you're going to be seeing pit stops here in this stage, though, before that checker flag of stage 2 ends. So if that's the case, if I'm Hemric, I'm going as hard as I can, trying to build up a big enough gap. That way, if there's a problem on pit lane, or if a caution comes out and he's already pitted, maybe he can build enough gap where he won't get trapped a lap down. That's something that we saw take place last week in Fontana with a few guys getting trapped. AJ Allmendinger trying to work his way up to the 1 of Sam Mayer, but really kind of stuck in that dirty air. Can't really get to his bumper. It's like he's kind of hit a brick wall. He got there, but he can't get any closer. And I think he probably says the same for the 18 of Ty Gibbs, who's at a pretty much the same margin back from the 16 as the 16 is from the number 1. Definitely, though, really a good start of the night for Sam Mayer, though. He came on the scene last year. He won a truck race in 2020, his first career win in the Truck Series. He came onto the scene, last year, John Fordell Jr., and there was a lot of mistakes he made. He made a lot of mistakes and crashed a lot. But now this year he's full time. He's doing this every week. He's not having to get out of the car every other week. He's trying to, develop that chemistry with his crew chief, with his team. And right now, Sam Mayer having a very good run right now in second place, as you see the 36 of David Starr leaving pit road. He's going to be about 30 laps down in that 36 car. At this point, try to salvage the best finish you can, as you're going to be coming to about 16 to go here, this time by here in stage number 2. Another driver who is currently having a very strong run here tonight, just outside the top 10. How about the 4, Ryan Truex? We saw his teammate Bailey Curry running inside the top 15 earlier. Ryan Truex now has just nearly cracked the top 10. Over the offseason, JD Motorsports, they went from 4 cars to 3. Made a few driver changes, and I really like the call to bring Ryan Truex in to this team. He ran full-time in the Truck Series last year. A lot of experience, a lot of knowledge. And Truex definitely a great choice to try to help build this team back up. Right now in 11th, Riley Herbst just got around the 37 of Austin Wayne Self. He's having a great run here tonight. Only his 3rd ever start in the series. Third ever start for that team here in the series as well, AM Racing. Right now here they are inside the top 15. There's Anthony Alfredo, the 23. Just got passed by his teammate Brett Moffitt a few laps ago. Right now, it's a 1.6 second lead, though, between first and second place, Daniel Hemric and Sam Mayer. Right now, one of the fastest cars on track, though, is absolutely the 15 of Bailey Curry. Bailey Curry has some fresher tires, so he already used his one set of tires he had down on pit road. As you see, he drives by the 16 of AJ Allmendinger like he's sitting still. But there is the gap between Hemric and Sam Mayer. I saw another car on pit lane. Not sure who I saw. The 24 of Kyle Weatherman, as well as the 51 of Jeremy Clements. See some damage on the right side of the 51. See some damage towards the left rear corner panel of the 24 of Kyle Weatherman. Tells me these two's made contact and has gotten into the wall possibly with each other, and right now they are both on pit lane. They're currently being shown 4 laps down each. So a tough break for Weatherman and Clemens, who are both running inside the top 20 now. Their shot at a good finish looks to be over. And Daniel Hemric continuing to drive away. He's now opened up a 2-second gap. It was 1.6 seconds. Now it's 2 seconds. A lot of that probably has to do with the 15 of Bailey Curry now getting past the 1 of Mayer. Now Curry, there was about 10 laps to go here in this stage. And right now Curry sees that number 11 of Daniel Hemric, the leader, right in front. Right now Curry is 4 laps down. But if he can get by Hemric, that will be 3 laps down. So if I'm Bailey Curry, I'm trying to drive as hard as I can to at least get 3 laps down. That's better than, they say, once you go 2 laps down, your race is basically over. And even though that may be so here tonight for Bailey Curry, 3 laps down is better than 4 laps down. And I want to try to get as much, have much advantage as you possibly can. And right now, Curry is trying to track down Daniel Hemric as laps are winding down here in this second stage. A little bit further back here, here's the 7 of Justin Allgaier trying to get around the 9 of Noah Gregson. This is 6th and 7th. Their other teammate Josh Berry currently in 8th place. Tyler Reddick's been on the move. There he is in the 48 car. He is in 9th, and 10th place battle between the 98 of Riley Herbst and the 39 of Ryan Sieg. Right now, the 31 of Myatt Snyder has came to pit road, so he is going to get his service done before the stage break ends. The question is, will a caution come out, or will somebody try to stretch it all the way on fuel? See what takes place here, as right now up front, try to keep an eye on the 11 of Daniel Hemric. Now Snyder was running outside the top 10, so I don't believe this is going to be a move to win the stage or nothing for the 31 car, but try to get a few points, maybe here or there. Has some fresher tires. Ty Gibbs trying to work on the 16 of AJ Allmendinger. In fact, it appears that Sam Mayer has now been able to drive away from the 16 a little bit. We saw Allmendinger putting pressure on the 1 of Mayer, but now it appears the 16 has been struggling a little bit the last couple of laps. See, Ty Gibbs has now gotten to his back bumper. Further back, there's Landon Castle trying to drive away from the JRM trio of Gregson and Allgaier. You know, we saw Castle make contact with Trevor Bayne as we got the 11 on pit road, Daniel Hemric, your race leader on pit lane. I believe the 19 of Brandon Jones is also on pit road. There's the 44 of Alex LeBay. But as I was saying, the Castle, he made contact with the 20 of Bayne. Wonder how much damage that 10 car has, and could that possibly be affecting the speed out of that 10 car. 98 of Riley Herbst also on pit lane. Hemric is now away and leaving pit road with 26 to go. There's Riley Herbst, Tyler Reddick. There's Jeremy Clements. Brandon Jones has already made his pit stop. Right now, the leader, I believe, maybe the 7 of Allgaier it is. So it's Allgaier, Brown, and Self. Your top 3, and now here's the 7 of Allgaier coming to pit lane this time by to get service. Brandon Brown's on pit lane. Austin Wayne Self's on pit road. The 27 of Jeb Burton and more guys coming down. 32 of Eric Jones, Joe Graff Jr., Josh Williams, Dylan Bassett. They've all now coming to pit lane. So where is Daniel Hemric going to cycle out? As right now, I believe the lead, as there's the 9-2 of Preston Pardus leaving pit road. Right now, the leader currently is the 0-2 of Brett Moffitt. And here's the 31 of Myatt Snyder. Remember, he was one of the first cars who came to pit lane. Snyder is currently, I believe, second of the drivers that came to pit road. Right now, he is in 4th place behind Moffitt, Alfredo, and Hemric. So that could be a big call from Myatt Snyder to get some track position here on this upcoming restart. As long as he can stay on, get on the lead lap. Right now, Brett Moffitt and Anthony Alfredo, it looks like they may be trying to stretch it all the way to the end of this stage on fuel. If they can do that, they could trap a lot of guys a lap down. There's Alfredo. See a lot of these guys. There's Moffitt as well in front. These guys, they got fresher tires. They're a lot faster, so you can see them completely, drive by here. As we're going to have 2 to go here in this second stage. And right now, it is a fuel economy run to try to get to the end of the stage. You see the 18 of Ty Gibbs nearly in the wall down here in turn number 1. Ty Gibbs nearly was in a spot where he might end up going back a lap down. There's a 9 of Noah Gregson trying to get on the lead lap. Moffitt is going to come to the white flag here. And it looks like Moffitt is coming down pit lane. And this is the final lap of stage number 2. Can Moffitt cross the line before Daniel Hemric gets to the line? And this is the finish to stage number 2. And Brett Moffitt is going to win stage 2 on pit lane. And Anthony Alfredo was able to get across the line as well. A huge benefit of having a pit stall directly after the start and finish line. So Brett Moffitt is going to be scored as your Stage 2 winner as he makes it on fuel over his teammate Anthony Alfredo. That's the good news. The bad news is pit road closed with 2 laps to go, so these two guys, although they will get the stage win, the stage points, Moffitt and Alfredo are going to be penalized for pitting when pit lane was closed, which means they will be given an EOL here and will have to restart at the back of the pack. So that is a tough break for Brett Moffitt and Anthony Alfredo. They had enough fuel to make it to the end of stage 2, but that's it. And they barely had enough to even make it to stage 2. They came to pit lane, but Brett Moffitt, your stage 2 winner in a very wild topsy-turvy finish to stage 2. But now we have, I believe, about 26 cars on the lead lap. We're gonna get all this sorted out here before we go back green with 20 laps to go. But looks like the free pass, I believe, could be going to the maybe the 77 or the 27. I'll have to get a clarification before or in just a moment. But we're going to take a break here, but definitely a wild ending to stage number 2. The 0-2 car, Brett Moffitt, makes it on fuel, and he wins stage number 2 here from Las Vegas. Time to go back green here from Las Vegas to begin the final stage here tonight. We're going to have 20 laps to go. Take a look here from the results from stage 2. It's going to be a little bit of a surprise here. Brett Moffitt and Anthony Alfredo first and second, followed by Daniel Hemric, Sam Mayer, and Myatt Snyder. Brandon Jones, Tyler Reddick, Justin Allgaier, Ryan Sieg, and Landon Castle all getting stage points. And now with Moffitt and Alfredo given a penalty, having us restart in the bag, that puts the 11 back on point with 20 laps to go. The final stage set to begin with Hemric and Mayer, Snyder and Jones, Reddick and Allgaier, Sieg, Castle, Gibbs, and Herbst, your top 10. Back into the Geico restart zone, and we are back underway. 20 laps to go from Las Vegas. And already 3 wide, entering turn number 1, a 39 of Ryan Sieg puts the 48 of Tyler Reddick in the middle. Justin Allgaier up top for the 7. And as they exit turn number 2, it's still side by side for the lead between Daniel Hemric down low, Sam Mayer up top. And now the 18 of Ty Gibbs trying to follow the 39 on the bottom, making it 3 wide. Allgaier losing a few spots here on the restart. Riley Herbst now trying to come up through the middle in that 98. Here's your pole center of the 9 on Noah Gregson. We haven't really talked a whole lot about Noah, even though he started on the pole. And Allgaier losing more spots there on the outside lane. What a rebound with that 21. Austin Hill has now been able to get up here and try to battle for a top 10 run, as up front for the lead, Myatt Snyder has been able to take the lead away from Daniel Hemric, who goes way up the track in turn 3. Now to 31 of Myatt Snyder, leading for Jordan Anderson Racing, a second-year team in the Xfinity Series, leading the powerhouse teams of Joe Gibbs Racing, Colleague Racing, Junior Motorsports, and more. And another small team trying to follow that number 31. That's that 39 of Ryan Sieg. This has been a very good track statistically for that 39 car. And Myatt Snyder, who won last year at Homestead, is going to get passed for the lead by the 19 of Brandon Jones. New leader 19. He takes the lead with about 16 laps to go. So put the 19 on point as Snyder, as I was just about to talk about him, he falls from the lead to 4th place. But I was going to say Snyder, who last year he won Homestead, but other than that, it was kind of a lackluster year. Didn't really have a whole lot of success. He was kind of let go from RCR, but was able to pick up this kind of a partnership deal between RCR and Jordan Anderson Racing. From some of Snyder's longtime partners, Tax Slayer, Louisiana Hot Sauce coming on board as primary sponsors, helping giving Anderson a shot to make this deal a success. And right now, here he is running inside the top 5. Remember, he was the first car who came to pit lane. He was the first car who came to pit road for pit stops, and he was able to use that to his advantage as he was able to leapfrog a lot of the guys behind him with fresh tires, and now he has track position over Sam Mayer, Ty Gibbs, Noah Gregson, AJ Allmendinger, and more. Josh Berry's back here. There's the 8 car battling Eric Jones. This is just outside the top 10. There's Brett Moffitt, the 0-2. He's now climbed up to 18th place. There's Landon Castle. He has dropped like a rock. As we have a big stack up here off turn 4. The 90 of Jeffrey Earnhardt has came to pit lane, and that checked up the inside lane, and that killed Noah Gregson and Sam Mayer. Look how far back the 1 and the 9 have now gone. Nearly outside the top 20. So right there, the 55 of Cody Rohrbach leaving pit lane. And it is a big stack up here. There's a 78 of Josh Williams, a 2 of Sheldon Creed, slow entering turn 3, and contact. Ryan Vargas is in the wall. Contact from the 9 of Noah Gregson. That will bring us back under the caution flag. Heavy damage on the 6 of Ryan Vargas. Caution is out. And the 19 of Brandon Jones did not want to see that yellow come out. He had a pretty good, comfortable lead on the 11 of Hemric, and now he's going to have to suffer through another restart. And the 9 of Noah Gregson was the other car involved. It looked like Sheldon Creed was trying to come to pit lane, and Vargas and Gregson made contact. Remember, Gregson got slowed down by, I believe it was Jeffrey Earnhardt, like a lap or 2 prior, and it put him back there in that mess, and now involved in what is, I believe, the 4th caution of the night, the 2nd caution due to a incident on the track. Here's a look at what happened. See the 2 of Sheldon Creed. He's off the pace, and he's coming to pit road. Right behind him is Noah Gregson. He checks up. Ryan Vargas gets in the back of the 9. The 9 goes in the wall. He drives away, but the 6 comes to a rest down towards the bottom of turn number 3 and 4. And you see that Swan number 6 of Ryan Vargas. That car is completely destroyed. Here's another look at it. See, Gregson's going to get slowed down. Watch the 6 of Vargas right there. Gets into the right rear corner panel, and it sends Gregson up the track into the 6. And Vargas, his night is over here from Las Vegas. So Brandon Jones, that's definitely not what he was hoping for, and now he is going to have to hang on to that lead for another restart. Daniel Hemric's going to have another chance to try to get by and re-salvage that lead. Ryan Sieg, Brandon Brown, Myatt Snyder, a lot of great stories inside the top 5. You have Tyler Reddick in 6. Eric Jones with that 32 car. Austin Wayne Self, all within the top 10, top 15. A lot of great stories like we saw at Daytona, like we saw in Fontana. Definitely a crazy start to the 2022 Xfinity Series season, so probably going to be a lot more of this left to come throughout the course of the year. We're going to take a quick break. Will this be the final break? Will this be the final caution? About to find out as the green flag coming back out right after the break. So we are going to go back green, this time by with 11 laps to go. Brandon Jones, Daniel Hemric. Now, one downside for Myatt Snyder, he has the oldest tires inside the top 10. But I believe Daniel Hemric has the 2nd oldest tires inside the top 10. Could that give an advantage to that 19 of Jones? I know some of the guys who have first retires, possibly the 18 of Ty Gibbs, the 16 of AJ Allmendinger, 98 of Riley Herbst, possibly. But yeah, look at some of the teams though. You have the 39 RSS Racing, Jordan Anderson Racing had both of their cars inside the top 10. Brandon Brown's team, Big Machine Racing, AM Racing. A lot of great stories as we are going to go back green with 11 to go. And Hemric, a great restart here by the 11. It's a drag race down in the turn number 1, but who has the preferred lane? Jones on the bottom. Hemric trying to stay on the door. The 19 is at exit turn number 2. Side by side for the lead, side by side for third place. Ryan Sieg and Myatt Snyder. Brandon Brown, Tyler Reddick. Hemric up the track in turn number 3. Sieg to the bottom. Tyler Reddick in that 48 in the middle. Josh Berry down low. Snyder losing spots up top. Brandon Jones hangs on as Sieg takes second. Brandon Brown to third. And now the 18 of Ty Gibbs tries to take fourth away off turn number 2. Further back, there's that 16 of AJ Allmendinger trying to work his way back up to the front. How about that 07 of Joe Graff Jr. up here in that top 10 having a strong run? And as soon as I say that, the 07 is coming to pit lane. Joe Graff Jr. was having a great run just outside the top 10, and he is coming to pit road. Possible flat tire. What a tough break for Joe Graff Jr., who was having a terrific run. And now he is on pit lane with 9 to go. Commentator's curse right there for the driver of the 07. And Daniel Hemric, he's been able to get back by the 68 of Brandon Brown. Now he's working on the 39 of Ryan Sieg, but these two are going to slow each other down. A big run by the 68 of Brandon Brown entering turn number 1. Brown goes high behind the 11. That's going to open the door for Ty Gibbs and Josh Berry down low underneath. And now the battle's on for third place as the 39 is clear from Gibbs and Hemric. Can Ryan Sieg possibly chase down Brandon Jones and score his first ever Xfinity Series win? That would be another upset to an upset we saw at Daytona with Brett Moffitt and Our Motorsports. Remember, you know, we went to Daytona. Our Motorsports had never won a race, and they ended up finishing first, third, and fourth, with Brett Moffitt scoring the win. During the offseason, when the Xfinity Series, when they announced that this playoff format was going to expand from 12 to 16, that was a big break for a team like this 39 car, like this 68 of Brandon Brown, like that 02 team of Brett Moffitt. I mean, some of these smaller teams may not have the resources that allow them to point their way in if this was a top 12 format. But now that 16 guys will battle for a title, that gives some of the small guys hopes as the 90 of Earnhardt slowing Herbst and Allgaier and Jones down. The 90 is off the pace again, and he's going to hold up everybody back here. Contact between Jones and Self. As you see the 2 of Sheldon Creed going by. Not sure what's going on with the 90 of Jeffrey Earnhardt, but that's the second time he has checked out the field by making an unscheduled pit stop. And now that has completely dropped Riley Herbst and Justin Allgaier outside the top 15. And with 5 to go, there is no way that they are going to be able to make that up. Not only to win the race, but probably not won't be able to make it up. We can score a top 10 finish as we are now with 4 laps to go. Brandon Jones made his NASCAR Cup Series debut last week in Fontana, driving from Gaunt Brothers Racing. He's going to run a couple more races throughout the course of the year with that 96 team. Trying to get his feet wet in the NASCAR Cup Series, hoping to maybe go full-time in 2024. Ty Gibbs, his teammate, though, has now gotten by the 39, and I believe Gibbs has a little bit more fresher tires. But will that be enough as we only have 3 laps to go? Sieg, Hemric, and Berry, your top 5. Brown, Castle, who I believe restarted outside the top 20, is now up here in 7th with Allmendinger. Austin Hill, who spent a majority of the race outside the top 20, has now driven up into 9th place, and Tyler Reddick rounding out the top 10, going past the 1 of Sam Mayer. Joe Graff Jr. back on pit lane. More trouble for the 07 car. Got 38 on pit road as well as CJ McLaughlin. Last time by, though, Ty Gibbs was a little bit quicker, but not quick enough with 2 to go. It's about a half a second lead between the two teammates from Joe Gibbs Racing. After the dominance we saw out of Ty Gibbs in 2021, many thought that the first win for Joe Gibbs Racing would be from Ty Gibbs, but it looks like it may not be that way, as it's the 19 of Brandon Jones leading the way through turns number 1 and 2. A night that looked like it was going to be dominated by Colleague Racing and Daniel Hemric and Chevrolet. Turns out to be a Toyota kind of night. A 1-2 finish for Joe Gibbs Racing, and it's going to be the 19 Georgia native Brandon Jones going to victory lane here tonight in Sin City. It is the 5th win of his career for Brandon Jones. It comes here tonight at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Ty Gibbs 2nd, followed by Ryan Sieg, Daniel Hemric, and Josh Berry. Landon Castle, Austin Hill, Brandon Brown, AJ Allmendinger. I'm going to go through and make sure we give you the actual results before we want to make sure we know for sure. And it looks like Sam Mayer will round out the top 10. And now the cars will come down pit lane and they will begin post-race inspection. And now we will show you your official results from tonight's Alsco Uniforms 300. And we already went through the top 10, but a great run out of Ryan Sieg in 3rd, Brandon Brown 6th. Austin Hill, who struggled all night, comes back to get an 8th place finish. Myatt Snyder, he restarted up front with a shot to win, falls back to 12th on that last run. But still a nice effort by the 31 team. Further back, Ryan Truex, Brett Moffitt, your stage winner, comes back to finish 14th. Riley Herbst. There's Anthony Alfredo in 17th. He was 2nd in that stage when Moffitt won. Josh Williams 18th. Noah Gregson, when Gregson got involved in that crash with Vargas went to the garage, but surprisingly Gregson actually finished the race and he ended up in 19th place. Dylan Bassett runs out the top 20. Tough break for Eric Jones and Austin Wayne South. They were running towards the top 10. They got caught behind that slower car coming to pit road. Kyle Sieg, who was at 1.2 laps down, comes back to get on the lead lap in 24th place. Sheldon Creed had trouble earlier in the race, went 3 laps down. He ends up 25th. Jeb Burton 29th. There's Joe Graff Jr. He had more trouble there at the end of the race. Ends up 30th. Ryan Vargas 35th out of the race. David Starr was about 30 laps down. Ends up 36th. And then the rest. John Hunter Nemechek, he had an engine let go on lap 4 of the race. Ended his night. Trevor Bain, Ryan Ellis, Stephen Parsons involved in that lap 1 crash. Tough break for those guys. And then we're going to take a look here at the playoff grid, as now 3 races are in the books. 3 names in green. Brandon Jones locks himself into the playoffs, joining Daniel Hemric and Brett Moffitt. Right now, Ty Gibbs is going to be the first car without a win. He is 53 points to the good. I believe Daniel Hemric is going to take the point lead in the regular season points. 5 points on Ty Gibbs, 6 points on Brandon Jones. So that will complete the broadcast here tonight from Las Vegas. But that is not all from this track, as More racing coming up tomorrow here on the 4Y Broadcasting Network with the NASCAR Cup Series, the Pennzoil 400. So more racing on your way from Sin City. So let's give one more congrats to your winner, Brandon Jones. He wins the Alsco Uniforms 300. The series will be back next Saturday from the Phoenix International Raceway as we will wrap up the West Coast Swing. Until then, congrats to Brandon Jones, your winner of the night from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway.